Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is Giggling David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back. We had a funny right before we hit go.
Yeah, and I don't know what struck me so funny, but it really did.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? You were going to say something. I have a slight low-grade headache. So if I'm not as entertaining as normal in this episode, that's exactly why. But I think as soon as I get a little of this home coffee in me, I'll feel a little better.
We're under, let me see how I want to say this. We're under a tremendous amount of stress.
Yes.
Personally, right now. David and I are okay, but we are under a tremendous amount of stress that I don't want to get into. But,
right.
We are controlling what we can control.
That's right.
I would say that's probably why you have a low-grade headache, though.
Okay.
So, because of the stress. I went to the chiropractor this morning, and he was like, what's going on?
A little stressy stressor.
Stress is showing up in my body. And I said, I am controlling what I can control. Sure. And that is kind of the basis of what I want to talk about today, because this is really helpful. I talk about systems a lot. And the reason that I love systems is when chaos reigns in your life, if you lean into your systems, you can have some calm in the storm.
Sure.
Right? Your system is like the life preserver. You're going down. You're yelling timber.
Right.
And a system is like a life preserver. It'll keep your head above water. It'll keep you safe until the storm passes.
Sure. Yes.
And so this morning when I woke up, I didn't sleep well last night. But you know what? I woke up today and I've got some decisions to make about what I'm going to do with my day, right? I'm going to exercise some volition, which is your free will. And I'm going to start with red light therapy.
Okay. And that's what you did. That's exactly what you did.
Yep, I did. And so now I've got at least one thing under my belt that not only makes me feel good, but I know is good for me and is also actually very relaxing.
Sure.
And so then I did my workout because I know the discipline of doing that makes me feel better.
Okay.
And it makes me feel accomplished. And now I've got two things that I've done so far in the day that make me feel good, make me feel accomplished, make me feel, And so I just started going through the day like that. Okay, if today was a normal day, if today was a regular day, how would I show up today?
Sure. Yeah.
I would call my clients. I would do my emails. I would work on my marketing campaigns. I would do my homework for my class. I would do my, all these things. I would touch base with this person or that person. I would have our strategy meeting. So I'm just like one by one checking off the checklist of the daily tasks that I know help me stay on track, keep my momentum, keep my head in the game. Because any kind of chaos that's going on in your life, there's usually not much you can do about it.
Right.
Often.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it, but I get to control that I put, whole healthy food in my body.
Right.
That's something that's important to me and makes me feel good.
Right.
And so just things like that, like the discipline of these things. So, I'm reading this book. I mentioned it before. It's for my class, Fly into the Wind by Lieutenant Dan Rooney, I think. He was talking about that very thing and talking about when you are just pretty disciplined in you do these kind of same basic core tenets of life every day, pretty much. He said what it does is it allows a lot of time, thought time, physical time to do other things, to explore other things. It creates time for imagination, right? Because you're not using your energy thinking about, what am I going to have for breakfast? If you're kind of have the same thing every day, or the same one or two things, right? You don't get out of bed thinking, okay, what am I going to do today? When you have a routine and you know what you're going to do, right? So then you don't have to spend that time and energy thinking about, what am I going to do? Or what's the next thing? Or, that kind of stuff. And so you often say indecision kills. And what you're talking about generally is in driving, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it on bringing it to this conversation, if you know what you're doing, so those decisions are made for you, so there's less stress in your life, and less stress equals better, longer life,
right,
according to science. So,
and we've talked about that pretty substantially here on the program. This is good. This episode is a good reminder, because we have said even recently that systems will save you. We have said that on the show. We've also said that worry scientifically hurts you and takes away from your quality of life, right?
Yeah.
So it's good that we're talking about this today again.
That's not to say we ignore our emotions.
Correct.
But dwelling on things I've got no control over,
right,
is unproductive
and unhealthy
at best, right? So, like my therapist says, you have emotions that hit you when you're going through difficult things, and they're like clouds in the sky.
Right.
You see them, you recognize them, and you kind of watch them pass by or pass through.
Right.
And so it's not that we're ignoring them, we're acknowledging it, and we're encouraging you to do the same. Like, acknowledge what's going on. The feelings are your feelings, right? But leaning into that discipline of routine and that kind of bringing you back to center, or if you will.
Yeah. It's important, right? And this stuff that we're talking about is good for whatever situation is happening in your life,
anything that brings chaos.
In our case, and we're not talking about what's going on, but it's a family thing, and it's not us, but whatever the case, it's super, super stressful. And all we can focus on is how we can support the people who are impacted by this, right? If we focus on the stuff that's happening,
right,
that's not constructive.
Including supporting us.
Right.
Supporting ourselves, because it's happening to us as well.
And we typically don't. That's the thing. As people, we typically don't think of ourselves, or we think of ourselves last. Right. That's just a thing we do.
Yeah.
Kind of a survival skill. Yeah. We worry about the people around us more than ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're going through this together, because I would never think to consider me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, you have, you being the people listening, watching, you've got your own thoughts about us and who we are, and, the lens that you see us through. But let me give you a little snapshot. Last night, I got home very late. You got home late. I got home a little later.
Right.
And because we're in transition right now between two houses. So we're kind of halfway moved into our new house, but we're still halfway in the old house. We don't have any living room furniture. And so David brought
At our old house.
So David brought the mattress from the guest bedroom out into the living room, because his comfy cozy chair is still there, but I had nowhere to sit. So he brought the mattress from the spare room into the living room. Let me tell you, luxurious. Okay.
It's absolutely insane to have
so
a bed
funny.
in the living room.
It is, but who cares? It's working.
Right.
But last night it's been for a couple days, it's been there, and I've loved it. I mean, I've never been so comfortable being in the living room. Anyway, so last night, as I mentioned, you got home late, and I got home later.
Mm-hmm.
And, I changed clothes. I did my bedtime routine. Again, I'm leaning into routine. I didn't feel like washing my face and taking my makeup off, but I know there's just comfort in routine.
Okay.
And I know in the morning my eyes will be itchy if I leave my mascara on, right? Like I need to take care of myself, kind of your oxygen mask on yourself first.
Sure.
So I do all my bedtime routine, come out to the living room, and I get in my bed couch.
Ridiculous, but yes.
But then I said, hey, come and lay with me to David, right? And he's like, no. And finally I convinced him to come get in with me. And we laid there and I put my head against you and we were both just out.
And we
fell
didn't
asleep.
We didn't watch any TV. I was planning to do that.
We were talking.
Unwind.
Right.
But instead we were debriefing about the situation that's going on.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
It was so sweet. I put my head on your chest, just out. I fell asleep so hard I started having a dream.
Do you remember what time it was that happened? Because I remember what time we got up from our bed couch and went into our room. It was midnight, but I don't know how long we'd been laying there.
I think it was about 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we laid there sleeping for an hour. But here's the thing, like that bed, I'm sure it's comfortable for most people. For me, it's a little hard. So it hurts my hips.
Sure.
So, I wake up because my hips ache if I sleep in that bed. So anyway, we went to bed, but, just again, leaning into each other, the people around you so that you can take care of yourself. I called, it was so crazy. I was driving very quickly somewhere yesterday that having to do with the situation. And at that moment, one of my closest, dearest friends texted me and said, hey, how's this, going? How's so-and-so? And I was like, that's so crazy that she just asked about that because I was, it's emergent. So I called instead of texting back. And I said, it's wild that you just asked me about that because I'm in the car on my way to, this emergency and it's not going well. And here's what's happened. And which I didn't really have a lot of information. In fact, very little at that moment. And I said, I don't even know why I called you. And she said, maybe you just needed somebody to sit in the space with you for a minute who loves and cares about you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. And so I guess what I'm talking about is like care for yourself, care for others, but it's also comes in the form of like discipline.
Right.
So, and just routine, man, I'm telling you, there's so much value in routine. I think about, like Steve Jobs and how he wore the same outfit every day.
Yeah.
Right.
He did.
And a lot of people are like that. A lot of like high producers, what's the word I'm looking for? High producer isn't the word I'm looking. That's something we use in real estate. High performers.
Yeah, high performers, high achievers. Yeah.
Yeah. They do kind of have that uniform.
Sure.
Right?
Yep. He was always in a black mock turtleneck and he pushed up the sleeves to right about here.
Yeah. But like you think about people who are high performers and they often have like a uniform. And in reading books,
Thomas Edison, Einstein, they wore the same suit every day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about modern people. Ryan Serhant, who is big in real estate
in
over
New
the
York
last
City,
10 years or whatever, not just in New York. They're opening all over the U.S.
Is he everywhere now?
Yeah. So, but he kind of has a uniform even.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting when you think about simplifying your life so that you have more room for creative pursuits or more room for creativity,
right?
Or problem solving, or I don't want to have to think about that. So I put it on a system. I do that with cooking, with meals often.
Yeah.
I have a system. This is what it is, in case anybody's curious. So I have a note. It's actually in the cabinet in my office. Like, so I can just look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, that's what I do. So I'll have like the it and the with it, right? That's my formula for cooking. Figure out the it, then you figure out the with it. So the it might be ground beef. And so I'll write down ground beef. And then I write down all the meals that I make out
With
of ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's chicken breast. And then I write down the 2 to 5 meals that I make with chicken breast.
Sure.
And then that's, the with it. Because like if I'm doing, last night we had fajitas.
Right.
Beef fajitas. Right. So the with it is all the stuff that goes with that. Right. So I made guacamole and I made, whatever. So I have that formula, and thank goodness I do, because, that keeps you going, keeps you on the right track. I don't like eating out. So right. So except this morning, I forgot to take meat out of the freezer. That's okay. It's okay. Because we have to go over to a family member's house and kind of clear out their refrigerators. Maybe there's something in there. They're not going to be home for
several days. Yeah.
And so maybe there's something in there. We'll find it. It'll be a surprise. Surprise. You having this for dinner? You didn't even know. Anyway. Yeah. So there you go. That's my big contribution today is, routine systems. It's going to save you. If you don't like your routine, change it. Get some different routines. If your routine is not giving you the results that you want, change it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, people get into habits
Mm-hmm.
that aren't healthy,
Sure.
You can just as easily get into habits that are healthy.
Yeah. People who say, I don't know, smoke,
I remember cigarettes.
What do you do instead of smoking? Maybe you go for a 5-minute walk. Every time you want to take your cigarette break at your office, maybe you go for a 5-minute walk instead.
What do I do? I complain about not smoking.
That's right. But you know what I mean? There are things you can do to transfer habits, right? And, you joke about CrossFit people.
I don't. But
no. But the joke is, if you're addicted to one thing, maybe you can get addicted to something else, and you may go from
a lot of ex-drug addicts in CrossFit. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. And you can do something positive with your body with that same addictive behavior pattern.
Absolutely.
And I happen to know at least 2 people who are former addicts who are probably 2 of the most fit CrossFitters I know, winning awards even.
And God bless.
And you know what? I think that's perfectly fine. So substitute behaviors that are bad for you with positive behaviors, and you may find a love for that like you did the bad behavior.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if you can, then replace it. Joe Rogan talks about this a lot. People with addictive personalities finding exercise and using that same kind of addiction to something healthy, like maybe a runner's high.
Right.
A runner's high
is a lie.
No. A runner's high is an endorphin rush that you get when you've run enough.
Yeah.
And it gives you all the positive feelings of a drug without any of the negative stuff.
Yeah.
No mental haze, no fogginess, no nothing, just positive.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm looking to do. Little David's not trying to run for miles and miles and miles to feel good. But you know what I might do? I might go play disc golf for miles and miles and miles and love it.
Let me tell you something. That I'm going to say right now, lie. You do chase that high. It's not, because you're an addict, but, well, I don't know if you have
I'm addicted to you, baby.
Addictive personality. I don't know, but I do know you do run miles. You were just sharing with me, on your disc golf app, how many miles that you've, walked and run, how many steps you've done, how many flights of stairs you've climbed since the beginning of the year. And it's jaw-dropping, the amount of activity that you
thousands of miles. Thousands.
Yeah, this year or...
Yeah, this year. Thousands.
Whoa. I thought it was like 700 and something this year.
I think it's like 5,000.
No. I think that's all time.
I think all time's even more than that. And hundreds of thousands of steps.
We'll have to look and report back. If you're curious, ask David. It's crazy the amount of activity that I don't do. I don't
remember. I just look at my phone and show you on the app.
I'm like,
that's how I do it.
30 minutes in, I'm done. I'm good.
And not me. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so Haley Happens Fitness is an app that I'm using. Nobody's paying me to say this, but they totally could. So this is an app that Haley is a trainer who's in midlife and who partnered with Dr. Vonda Wright, who is a well-known orthopedic surgeon,
sure,
and now author and longevity specialist and advocate. And they partnered together to Haley's got lots of different programs on the Haley Happens Fitness app, but the one that I'm doing is Strong Happens, is what it's called. And it was their partnership. So, what was my point about that? Oh, 30
That's
minutes.
What you're doing. Yeah, 30 minutes.
It's supposed, listen, maybe 40. I do the 60-minute one, but I don't do the rests in between like you're supposed to. And so I always get them done faster because, efficiency. If you're a fitness person and you can tell me why the rests in between sets are important, I would love to hear that from you because no, they're not. But I could be convinced with science.
Well, circuit training says keep moving.
Yeah, I don't know. So I just
CrossFit, they're moving. I
take
moving.
breaks when I have to. But anyway, the trick of this app though is you start, at these lower amounts of weight, lower reps, shorter times. Well, now I'm 2.5 months into it. And I opened my app the other day and it says 45-minute walk. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Right.
What am I supposed to do for 45 minutes?
Play disc golf.
No, you know what I did?
Walked on the treadmill and
walked on the treadmill and I read my book.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a good use of your time.
Efficient.
Yes, you should do that every day, even if it's not one of your days to do that.
Well, I'm supposed to be walking every day in addition to this. But I got to be honest with you, David Austin, I've only got so much time and energy.
Right, but the energy you're spending while reading, spend it also walking.
Well, I did.
Which is smart. You did it. Yeah. Yay, success.
Yeah. And then I don't have to feel guilty when I'm in my bed couch.
I mean, that couch bed situation is outrageous. It's a queen-size bed just sitting in the living room. That's crazy.
I love it.
I know you do.
And until we're, fully moved,
that makes sense.
It's a great solution.
That makes sense. Our office and our studio are fully operational here at the new house.
Right.
The old house has our bedroom and our kitchen, essentially.
Here's the problem, though. I started moving some kitchen stuff over yesterday.
Well, that's forcing us to move quicker.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
My plan was the rest of this week and weekend to kind of get everything as much as I could moved over, but that plan has shifted.
Well, now we have two helpers who can help us.
And I'm shifting with it, and we'll see what happens.
We need to use our helpers, put them to work.
Well, we'll see. I don't want to say too much about that.
I don't either, but the simple fact that we have 4 hands in the house that aren't normally there now is going to be great. They can carry boxes.
Oh my gosh.
I like that.
Maybe.
Like that.
Okay, here's something that happened recently that was startling for me.
Startling.
I spent some time with our oldest grandson the other day. David, 2 things. One, we went for a walk, and I realized he's looking at me almost eye to eye.
Yeah. 13 years old. He's a young man.
Also, he said something and his voice.
That was interesting. We normally go to bed around 8:30, so Grandpa, we're going to have to start getting ready here pretty quick. I mean...
It does crack every once. It's been cracking for a while, but now he's coming out of the cracking, and it's just like establishing into this new
deeper voice. And he does not sound like a wily prospector, but that was funny to do.
No.
And I did it to him. Do you remember that? After he got done talking? Well, we got to get ready for bed.
Yeah, he
here,
laughed
8:30.
so hard. I was just so startled by that. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I guess I should. Time marches on.
Yeah.
But it made me start thinking about, and I get this mortality motivation thing in my brain. And I started thinking about this. If this is such a terrifying thought a little bit. So my parents both died at the age of 71.
Right.
And I'm 55 now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking.
Clock's ticking. If you fall down at 60, bye.
No, David, think about this. If I died the same time my parents did,
Oh, yes.
then there's only 16 years left.
I know exactly how you feel because we might have done the show when I turned 52, 2 months and 2 days. That was how old my mother was when she passed away. And that was pretty sobering. Pretty darn sobering.
Yeah. Well, truly, you never know how much time you have on this earth, right? So make every day count.
I think AI is going to solve a lot of health problems in the next 20 years, though. So I think by the time you get to 71, we're going to be living to 90 easy.
Tell me more about that.
Well, AI is smart and it learns from everything that's ever been written. So AI can look at every medical study ever and analyze them and give direction based on what they've read and learned. And I definitely think we're going to have many, many, many cures that people haven't been able to compute in the near future, because you can look at trends, you can look at statistics, and you can do that over the entirety of recorded history in an instant with AI. So I do think medical advancements are going to be exponential.
Yeah, this will be interesting, right? It's such an exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, it is an exciting time to be alive.
I feel like we have every advantage of, being raised in a simpler time and being alive during this time where we have what you just talked about. Like, what?
Yeah.
I feel like, is this how my grandparents felt when they got a phone?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, what?
I used to live next door. You used to live next door to a guy who helped pioneer long distance phone calling.
I did?
Yeah, when we lived on Westview Loop, the guy that lived next door to us, who was 90, had been one of the people to engineer the phone lines in the 20s and 30s for long distance calling efficiency. I mean, that's crazy, right? It's the things that just during our little lifetime that we've seen, When I was a kid, you drank from the hose. Why? Because you were outside all day long.
Because you were locked out.
We were latchkey kids, and we had to walk home from school where parents were not at the home afterwards. And, if you say to one of our children or our grandchildren, I think our grandsons are different people because they're being raised very traditionally, go drink from the hose. They'd look at you like you were crazy, right?
Well, they don't need to do that because they've got their water bottle.
Well, that's true. But when we
Collins
were kids...
J, who is 2 years old. Is she not quite 2?
She's 2. Isn't she 2? Didn't she just have a birthday? Maybe she's not quite 2.
She just turned 2 in January.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
Collins J looked at me on FaceTime and said, Adwala bottle?
Adwala bottle. Okay.
Branded.
Adwala is the name of the...
It's the brand.
Brand?
You okay?
I didn't know
Did you get
that,
a bug?
I didn't know that was a thing. Adwala. And my throat's very dry, so I need my Adwala bottle.
Yeah.
I just finished my home coffee, by the way. This episode of The Session with Londa and David is brought to you by Home Coffee. Enjoy it. It's good, it's tasty, and it's on the house. Home Coffee.
You already paid for it.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Let's wrap it up right there. You did the sponsorship
I like it.
This program is actually brought to you by Sherwood Austin Homes. We don't talk a lot about it, but SherwoodAustin.com for all your home needs.
Home buying needs, from lending.
One-stop shop for home buying and home selling.
That's exactly right. The fine folks at Sherwood Austin Homes have been in the mortgage and real estate business for a combined 35 years. I mean, that's a big fat gang of time.
Yeah.
So not a lot of surprises happen when you're working with the fine folks at Sherwood Austin Homes. Go to SherwoodAustin.com to find out more. For the prettiest girl in the world, Londa Joanne Sherwood Austin, my name's David Austin, and this has been another episode of The Session with Londa and David. And if you really want to know what's going on with us, call us, okay? We'll talk to you about it in person.
Love you.
Let's see you next week. Bye-bye.